The high cost of dental care here is forcing thousands of people to travel abroad to save up to 70% on treatment.
We usually start the work at Dublin, so we do the pre-care in Dublin and we do an x-ray there. We do the treatment plan.
Since Hungary Dental set up a base in Dublin 1 year ago, over 300 Irish patients have travelled to this clinic in Budapest. The most popular treatments are getting implants, veneers, bridges and of course the ever popular teeth whitening. John Leahy has travelled from Athy in County Kildare for a new denture and teeth cleaning. The denture is costing him €600. He says this is a saving of up to €1,000. Return flights for himself and his wife cost €70 each, and accommodation for 4 nights in a 4-star hotel across the road from the clinic is €250 for the couple. His 21-year-old son Martin needs more extensive work in his teeth.
I lost 5 teeth playing rugby, so between inquiring all over Ireland where to get it done, we decided it was cheaper to get done abroad.
So how much do you think you saved by getting his treatment done abroad?
Well, I'd simply say 15,000 maybe.
But Irish dentists are warning of the risks.
We're seeing patients on a regular basis now and have a range of different problems, including things like infection, bleeding, swelling, pain, bone loss, muscle spasm.
Hungary Dental says all of its 20 dentists are registered with the Irish Dental Council and offer aftercare treatment in Dublin. Diane Connor, TV3 News, Budapest.
Now, the last 9 years has seen a considerable hike in the amount of Irish people that go abroad to get dental procedures carried out. Cheap flights and direct marketing have only added to the numbers opting for foreign dentistry. But the considerable rise in Irish dental costs, something in the region of 117%, may also have something to do with it.
Now, Irish dentists are warning against dental tourism, saying that the patient is taking risks by going abroad for their procedures. So is this just the Irish dental industry trying to win back their clients, or is there truth in what they are saying? Here to tell us more is TV3 News reporter Diane Connor and health correspondent with the Irish Daily Mail on Sunday, Jim Clark. But before we speak to them, let's have a look at how Diane got on when she travelled to a dental clinic in Budapest.
One of the most popular destinations for the Irish to travel to for dental work is Hungary, and we're here in Budapest to see if it's worth the trip. John Leahy has travelled from Athy in County Kildare for a new denture and teeth cleaning in Hungary Dental in Budapest at a cost of €600. He says he's saving up to €1,000. His 21-year-old son Martin needs more extensive work on his teeth.
I lost 5 teeth playing rugby, so between inquiring all over Ireland where to get it done, we decided it was cheaper to get done abroad.
So how much do you think you saved by getting his treatment done abroad?
Well, I'd simply say 15,000 maybe.
Treatment here is up to 70% cheaper than at home. In Budapest, an implant costs €1,400. It starts at €3,000 in Ireland. A crown costs €295 in Budapest, compared to between €800 and €1,100 at home. And a root canal treatment is €109 per canal at Hungary Dental, compared to €400 in Ireland. Consultations are given in Dublin first before the patient travels to the clinic in Budapest, and aftercare is also given in Dublin by the same dentists who are registered with the Irish Dental Council. Over 300 people have travelled to Budapest for treatment since the clinic was opened in Dublin a year ago. Over 100 people work in this clinic, including dental nurses, assistants and technicians, and there are 20 dentists who specialise in different areas, including implantation and cosmetic surgery. Orthodontic work will be available to Irish patients from February. Once the dental treatment is over, you can let the holiday begin. There's plenty to do and see in Budapest, starting with a visit to the Royal Palace of the Buddha, which overlooks the city, divided in two by the Danube. A cable car will take you down the hill to explore the city and even try out some ice skating. And if you can bear the cold, take a chairlift up János Hill, the highest point of Budapest. And after a day in the snow, warm up with some traditional Hungarian food in the hundreds of cosy restaurants. During our trip to Budapest, we visited the Hungary Dental Clinic in the city centre and flew with Malev Hungarian Airlines.
Good morning, Diane and Jim. Now, Diane, we know why people are going. As Mark said earlier on, since 1990, there's been a 117% increase in the prices we pay here to see our dentist and get our teeth fixed. And it's 70% cheaper to go to places like Budapest. But is it safe? The IDA are saying that they've had, since January, I think, 21 people have needed corrective surgery and so on and so forth. Are these scare tactics, and is it ultimately safe to go? You were there on the ground. Would you go yourself?
Well, I was very impressed with it, I must say. It was a very professional clinic when I went into it. It's very big. It's much bigger than you'd imagine any of the clinics here in Ireland. There's 20 dentists working there, a lot of people. All the work is done there as well. The teeth, the veneers, the crowns, the implants are all made there. And the technology was state of the art. It was very, very impressive now, I must say. And the Irish I spoke to there were all in glowing terms. Now, I haven't spoken to anybody who's had a bad experience there in that clinic anyway, but everyone I spoke to seemed very happy with the treatment. And the one thing that they stressed why they picked this particular clinic is because there's aftercare in Dublin. You hear these stories, and the Irish Dental Association has said that there's no aftercare when you come home, and if something goes wrong, you're out of pocket, you're paying for thousands of euro in corrective work. Whereas with this clinic, you visit their clinic in Dublin, and they have consultations in Dublin as well. Because before I went to Budapest, I went to the clinic in Dublin last week, and I met a few people getting their consultations done there, getting the treatment plan, deciding how much they want to actually spend on what materials are being used, and then going over to Budapest.
Therefore, to operate in this country, one assumes that they're accredited or at least associated with the Irish Dental Association.
They are indeed, yeah. They are associated with the Irish Dental Association. Same standards then, same international standards, very high standards. And because I put it to the dentists over there, well, you're getting this criticism from the Irish dentists, and they were saying, well, we are as trained as well as them. In some areas even better, so they're very defensive of their standards.
Now, Jim, you've been writing about this since I think about 1990, so the guts of 20 years you've been.
This has been going on for a long time.
Long time.
We've always had quite expensive dentistry in Ireland, and people have been flipping over the border to the north or zipping across to Britain, or even at the very sort of high-end cosmetic end, going over to New York to get their teeth done for, the guts of 20 years now.
But the Irish Dental Association have come out with all guns blazing. They're not pulling any punches, and they're obviously either A, feeling the pinch, or B, feeling that the Irish public are being very badly served by going abroad. Which would you opt for?
I would imagine it's a little bit of both. I mean, the survey you referred to, where they said they looked at 26 patients between January and March and found that 21 of them needed corrective work, 16 very serious corrective work. That would be the scare tactics, if you like. And then on the other hand, obviously it must be hurting them in their pocket. One clinic alone is claiming that they're seeing one Irish person a day. That's one of many in Budapest alone. Then throw in Poland, throw in the Baltic states, South Africa, Holland, Britain, not to mention the north, which is still probably getting more dental tourists from the Republic than anywhere else. And you're talking about possibly tens of thousands.
But yet, Jim, they're not willing to
lost.
make any changes. They're just trying to scare people.
Well, to a degree, the change isn't...
Are there genuine risks if people go out there? I know Diane had a great experience, but it's not... Is it all as plain sailing as that?
No, there certainly are genuine risks. I think the best point that the IDA have made in recent times is that if you were supposed to get this amount of dental work done in one go, that would be the standard practice worldwide. If you have a lot of work to get done, normally you'll go in, you'll get a little bit done, you'll be allowed to heal, you'll go back, they'll check how that work's bedding in, then they'll do a little bit more.
So telescoping it all into, say, a week is not a very good idea.
It's not to be recommended.
But the thing about the corrective surgery, yes, that does sound very worrying, but you would also imagine that anybody who's going for major work abroad was a problem in this country as well. In other words, that it was a difficult case. So there's the likelihood of problems with that is obviously going to rise. So I mean, is it fair to use those as examples of, oh well, it's dangerous to go abroad?
Well, I think the thing is, orthodontics patients, i.e. patients who have, they need their jaw realigned, might have hair lip issues, patients who have major issues in their mouths, they're not the people who are travelling. The people who are travelling are largely going for cosmetic work, or they might be missing a couple of teeth, like that gentleman in Dan's report, and they want a couple of implants put in. They go to their local dentist, they find out how much it's going to cost here, they check online, they find it's a quarter of the price, and it's a no-brainer for them.
Dan, very quickly, just to finish, Do you believe the IDA are essentially running a cartel here and people are going there and quite successfully coming home with their teeth fixed the way they want them at 70% cheaper?
Well, I think what the message that they're trying to get across, and the main message they should be trying to get across, is be aware of the risks and check out your clinic. Don't go over to a clinic you know nothing about.
Do your homework.
Do your homework, I think, and that's what the IDA are trying to say. There are risks involved, and of course there are aftercare it is very important. People are going for extensive work. I mean, as we're talking about, I met people spending €20,000 over there on extensive work, like a full teeth of implantations. So you do need aftercare, you need to be aware of that when you are going.
I think we've got a website actually, rivahealth.com, that came up during the interview.
I would
People
be
can
more
go and
worried
check
about,
numbers.
I'd be more worried about the flight and the hygiene on the flight on the way back afterwards, because the amount of times I've got on healthy and got off feeling awful after a flight.
There's the website there actually. That has, what does Riva Health? It has numbers and contact.
It does, like numbers and contact details of different clinics over in Hungary and advice, and it's lots of figures as well on how many people are going over. Like the same over 10,000 people are leaving the Republic.
Wow.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. One other piece of advice is make sure you check your insurance status before you go.
Actually, yeah.
See who's covering it, whether it's covered under travel insurance or whether it's covered under your own health insurance.
Because if it goes wrong, I don't think it's covered under either.
Well, that's the point. Really.
Okay.
Now, coming up after the break,
Diane.
a man who worked in the factory with Andy Warhol, artist Steve Kaufman, who's also known as the Prince of Pop Art.